Brad Chard, Chief Operating Officer for Playmore Golf. I've been with the business about 22 months. My key responsibilities are helping current partner clubs, so maximising their flexible membership, and also working with the team to welcome new partner clubs in. As you can see, wealth of experience in the industry, having been a general manager for many, many years in various venues, including private members, single proprietary and group run proprietary businesses as well. Hopefully, most of you know who Playmore Golf is, but for those who don't, we have 200 partner clubs across the UK and continue to sort of grow this on a monthly basis. Playmore Golf is the first flexible golf membership that links individual golf clubs across the United Kingdom under one membership. So from the golfer's perspective, we provide more choice, more value, more flexibility, and more convenience. With regards to our partner clubs, we really help with a solution to meet some of their challenges. And ultimately, our model supports clubs to find members, join members, manage and retain. And some additional benefits are we can help clubs to improve their tee sheet utilisation. We can increase prospects into your club. We can generate some additional revenue to support current income, help you to retain more members, and actually also provide a stepping stone for future 5 and 7 day members as well. So what we're going to be covering this afternoon over the next sort of 30 minutes or so is just getting an understanding in terms of what does the data tell us about the market trends of new members joining golf clubs. As a golf club, what should I really try and sort of consider before I decide how to progress? Ultimately, how can a flexible membership help attract new members into your club? And what are the key benefits for your club with regards to flexible membership? And what are the key benefits of a flexible membership for the golfer as well? And we'll give a little bit of an idea in terms of what potential results that you could expect as well. So market insights. For those who read it back in May 2023, Golf Business News obviously published and reported that rounds played remained pretty strong, but were indicating that membership numbers had perhaps started to dip. And as we know, over the course of the pandemic, the golf industry witnessed a real huge boom in membership, and certainly at levels never seen before. I was working as a general manager at the time, and I know that at that point, we were seeing inquiries coming in for 5 day and 7 day membership. And I certainly, in the 20 odd years I've been working in the business, had never seen levels like that before. 2022, the data sort of suggested that perhaps these numbers started to flatten out, and obviously clubs were looking to focus on the retention of the membership base as opposed to sort of high levels of acquisition. So registered member numbers at golf clubs have started to decline, certainly across Q1 of 2023. And of course, we'll all be excited and anticipating the release of the Q2 numbers. Certainly with the cost of living and energy soaring over the last sort of 12 months or so, I think many predicted that perhaps spring membership renewal would see some attrition. And across our 200 partner clubs that we're speaking to every day across the network, we've seen some great results from membership renewal and really encouraged by hearing these stories as well. And actually quite often I've heard they've seen a better than expected result. But also some other partners reported actually maybe leaver numbers to be greater than expected. But I guess equally those partner clubs also took comfort that they could provide their member with a choice in terms of how they play and pay their golf in 2023 and beyond. And really by that, I mean, you know, a 7 day member coming in and simply not being able to afford a 7 day membership. Do we see them go out of the door and ultimately perhaps turn into a pay and play golfer that we might see occasionally? Or do we try and provide them with a bit of a choice to perhaps hang on to them over the next 24 months, 12, 24 months, with a view that perhaps when things settle down again and things start to go on the up again, that would that member then move back into a 7 day membership category? Certainly that's some of the initial feedback that we're having from our partner clubs. So as we know, and I've been sort of banging this drum for quite a while now, it's about data, making sure that data drives our decision making. So I think if we are concerned about being able to attract new members and the retention of current members, is it now the time to consider our options? And I suppose ultimately, what type of data could we be using to enable us to make some informed decisions? So ultimately, I guess we have to ask ourselves, is there demand within the club for a different type of membership to attract what we would call the infrequent golfer who could be the next 5 or 7 day member of the future? Do we have a good understanding from our spring renewal, from an exit interview perspective, in terms of what were their reasons for not renewing? What are the volumes of people that said, I simply don't have enough time, work's a factor, or cost even? And does the data from the T-sheet management system tell us that we have quiet periods during the day when golfers do not play? And it's really important we look at seasonal changes with this. So not only kind of that November through to February period, but also your 2 fringe months in March and October, we know susceptible to clock changes, but also the peak season in the summer as well. And I guess then these are the questions that I've asked myself as well. Should I just offer a discount for new members to join? Ultimately, if I'm trying to fill a hole in 7 day membership, well, what's the best way to do that? Shall I just offer a discount so that I can drive some volume? Or actually, if I know I'm looking to drive quiet afternoon tea times, can I just offer a reduced green fee during quiet periods to drive volume? They're absolutely questions you should be asking yourself. But also, consideration should be given to that discounting in terms of a discount for new members to join. So I think, whilst that discount may appear from a value perspective more attractive and can certainly work in year one, I suppose my question would be, what would happen in year two when that member comes to renew? Will that same member expect a discount in year two? And when they're being sort of charged a full fee, will they consider, actually, that's too expensive for me? And is there something more sustainable than simply discounting? As you can see from the slide, we believe there is at Playmore Golf, and we believe a credit-based scheme could be perfect. As this meant, you can continue to introduce a new category of membership, and that category of membership can work alongside your current categories as well. And from the data, we know what extra volume of play the T-sheet could accommodate. And we know that by introducing some at that time, it would not impact the current members or green fee payers, because you know exactly where those slots are and how many slots you could fill. We also know that the average number of rounds that a flexible member generally plays per year is somewhere between 8 to 10 rounds of golf. And we also know that 78% of golf is played at off-peak times. So based on these factors, we sort of know that this new category of membership could deliver exactly what is required, wouldn't impact your current 5 and 7 day members. The golf is on an infrequent basis, 8 to 10 times, and 78% played at off-peak times. But of course, the biggest factor now is deciding, can I, as a general manager of a golf club, dedicate enough time on this to make it work? Because ultimately, you could just bolt on the software solution from your existing golf management provider. But really, we say, can you give this enough time to really make it successful whilst balancing the demands of running a golf club? I certainly know when I was a general manager, balancing those demands during the day, you have those to-do lists, and there's things on there that simply never make it to the top of that to-do list. This could be one of them, but equally, there are some options out there that could really help drive profit. So ultimately, when you've got down that far and you've asked yourselves loads of questions, ultimately the next question is, well, why should I partner with Playmore Golf? Playmore Golf, we certainly recognise we're not the sole provider of flexible membership solutions anymore. There are golf management systems that provide that as a bolt-on. So ultimately, how do we differ? And I think, why should you still consider perhaps a partnership with us? And I alluded to this a little bit at the start when I said, actually, we are the solution that helps you find, we help you join, we help you manage, and we help you retain members, all on your behalf, so you don't have to. So ultimately, our marketing helps drive new prospect members to your club. And actually, not just that, our partners report an increased traffic to their own website as a result of the paid activity we provide. So sometimes a member may be looking at a solution, see an advert from Playmore Golf, go to your website, but actually determine that a 7 day membership is more suitable. So we see increased traffic going to partners' websites. The platform that we provide makes it easy for prospect members to join there and then. If they want to, they can join online. We take them through a step-by-step guide. And in some cases, they don't need to speak to anybody. They can just join online. But equally, we have a team centrally that can help manage that and answer any questions they've got as well. Also, they can call the club direct and get a flavour for what it's like to be a member there. And secondly, our support team and customer service team help to manage your flexible members. So dealing with points queries, dealing with things like, well, I didn't play today, so I need a refund on my points. I've got a query on renewal. As a club, you may have a question about your points matrix or your pricing or your marketing. Well, actually, we've got a dedicated team here that help manage your flexible members. So our support team can help you retain these members. And equally, we do see that some will upgrade to your 5 and 7 day membership categories too. So again, some of the questions says, actually, do you have the resource at your club to sign up members, renew existing members, amend bookings, adjust members' points balance? What marketing budget has been put aside to invest in attracting new flexible members to the club? And have we got effective reporting metrics in place to really show when flexible members play and what time they play? It's a real key metric that we use. We report back to clubs to really show when they're playing. We look back at T-sheet utilisation. We see if anything's changed from when we last looked at it. And we may well then adjust a points matrix accordingly. Again, if circumstances change, that's the beauty. It's not set in stone. It has the ability to adapt and change. And ultimately, and I know I asked myself the same question, do you have the resources at the club to manage the financial administration involved in checking payments, ensuring all members have paid, processing card payments for members, and paying all the associated card fees for each transaction? Data analysis completed for you. So as I said at the start there, we complete that for you to enable you to make some informed decisions. And also, does your own version of the software solution allow visiting golfers from other golf clubs to visit your club and use their points? And ultimately, you're paid the points value for that round. These are all the tasks that certainly Play More Golf will do for you. We always like to talk to partner clubs in terms of that measure of success. And ultimately, we talk in a measure of view perspective. That's really important. But ultimately, what have you generated from that revenue? How much does it cost me to actually get there? And one thing we do with both partner clubs and new partner clubs is we actually take you through what's called a simulator. And I know sometimes the word profit isn't one that's always sort of bandied around, but we take clubs through a simulator to actually show, well, actually, if we partnered with you, this is the type of results that maybe you would start to see. And ultimately, how this model is built in terms of key assumptions, it's built on 20 new members per year. That's probably about the average. Partner clubs set the numbers that they're looking for. So that's not we do 20 for each club. But 20 is absolutely the number that we would do. And this is at a selling price of £375. And again, we tend to recommend it's about a third of the price of a 7-day membership. So ultimately, you're looking at £1,200 to £1,500 as a 7-day membership. And what this shows is, well, actually, and this is over a 2-year agreement, over a 2-year agreement where we say average revenue, you've got membership retention, membership growth, flexi revenue. So that is members of the Play More Golf network visiting your golf club and using their away points, and member upgrades. Now, all the numbers in here are net of our costs. So our commission cost has come out of that. So if you look at revenue, certainly in year one, we'd be looking at an average revenue of about £5,000. And in year two, looking at an average revenue of about £10,000. Now, ultimately, if you were going to run this scheme yourself on your own bolt-on software solution, you would see similar revenue numbers because, of course, you're not paying Play More Golf for commission. But ultimately, it's when it comes into the costs where it really sort of hits home. So our partnership fee per year is £1,750. So £1,750 is your partnership fee. It includes your software cost, it includes all card fees. There's a payroll number indicated in there at £211 to provide an example. We don't charge you for that, by the way, because all payroll is included. All digital marketing is included, and any other marketing such as collateral that we do, any videoing that we come down to your golf club to come and do. So over an annual basis, the partnership fee is £1,750 per year. So as you can see, at the end of year one, if we join 20 members for you, you're likely to see out of that £3,230 paid into your bank account. That's your profit. And in year two, you can see how that profit jumps up to £8,290. It jumps up because obviously you've got your membership retention of members joining in year one. You've got increased flexi revenue, and we also apportion an element of it to upgrades. In terms of a percentage. The £585 there is an average. Clearly, that's not necessarily a full 7-day membership fee because each club is varied, but it's used to give you an example of what could be possible. So over a 2-year partnership with Play More Golf, you could see an average profit, as in what's in your bank account, of about £11,520. And not forgetting, we've done all of that. We've done all of that processing for you, so you don't have to. So that is literally what would come in. What we tend to see, and I haven't accelerated it here, but if you actually see it over a 3-year partnership, that's where you really see accelerated growth, because of course you've got 2 years worth of membership renewals coming in. So that's when profit really accelerates. And quite often when we sign clubs up, whilst we have various commercial terms, we'd always try to say over 3 years is where you'll really sort of see the success of it. But of course, the key message is we absolutely talk in terms of the contribution or profit that the flexible membership category would deliver to your golf club. We have this as a take the test as well. So we can do variations of it. We can even give you minimum numbers. What I would note on these assumptions, I put 20 in there. For a golf club to break even, in terms of not even break even, but to deliver a return on investment in year one, you'd actually need 8 members to join in year one to get a return back on your investment. And we generally know we will deliver significantly more than that. So 8 members is that magic number to deliver profit in year one. That profit grows into year 2. So really, you get an idea in terms of, well, what would I have to do ultimately to get a return on my investment? So ultimately, you can ask yourself, well, what are the key benefits of a flexible membership of our club? Key one being, it's a new category of membership that can drive additional profit, as we mentioned there. It can increase utilization of your tee sheet at quiet times. So it's that 1 till 4 o'clock slot. Don't like to touch those peak times. Equally, at some clubs, twilight golf is really, really busy. So look at your utilization and say, actually, Brad, it's 1 till 4 that we really need some help to drive some traffic with. And that's where the points matrix comes in, because we set the points in such a way to really drive traffic into those quieter times. And of course, if we're driving golfers into those quieter times, the associated food and beverage revenue and retail revenue from this new category of member will be delivered as well. I guess ultimately it provides choice to the golfer in terms of how they pay and play for their golf. And a partnership with Play More Golf will enable you to focus on the day-to-day operation of your club as we do all the rest for you. And ultimately, when a golfer is looking for flexible solutions in their area, I'm looking for flexible golf in Berkshire, happens to be a county that I live in, or it might be in Liverpool, or it might be in Newcastle. A partnership with Play More Golf with our sponsored ads would make sure that your name was up there in that search engine on Google, to ensure that anybody that's looking for that option will see your golf club first. Well, ultimately, that's the benefit. What are the key benefits for the golfer as well? Well, certainly from a golfer perspective, flexible membership gives you the freedom to play golf when you want without necessarily being tied to a set schedule. Flexible memberships naturally are probably more affordable than traditional memberships. And quite often that journey of a stepping stone back into 7-day membership, sometimes the 7-day member will look at the price of a membership and not entirely sure how much value they're going to get out of it and how much they're going to play. And therefore, if they had a flexible solution in place, would that be something they'd go, I'll come in and have a look and see how my golf is. I'm actually finding I'm playing a lot of golf once I've settled in. I want to play in the Saturday competition and I want to join that Sunday morning roll-up. Actually, a 7-day membership is more suited to me, or a 5-day membership may be more suited to them. Obviously, with a Play More Golf flexible membership, the one unique thing you do get with Play More Golf is the golfers get access to multiple courses. So more variety in terms of the golfing experience. But again, that's a value to the club, because if you're offering a flexible membership solution through Play More Golf and a club down the road is offering their own solution, is a golfer more likely to look to join your golf club because they know they get to play another 199 golf courses across the network? That could be a key benefit. Obviously, there's an online booking system, so you book your tee times in advance from anywhere, be it on an app, be it on a computer. Really great convenience, really convenient to book your buddies in there as well. And as I said, I think ultimately the golf will be attracted to your club because you've got a flexible approach to membership based on the needs of the golfer. We do a lot of data analysis and we do a lot of activity around, well, where is the demand being generated for flexible memberships? We do a lot of postcode analysis. So we really know the key areas across the UK where we know demand is strong. And ultimately it gives us an opportunity to go in and talk to some partner clubs where we've got opportunity that's strong, or go in and talk to prospect clubs to say, there is some demand in your area for flexible membership. It could be a good solution for you that may just help fill those quiet afternoon tee times. In terms of sort of results, I suppose, well, as I said, sort of from the outset, clubs set their own targets. But in terms of partner clubs, on average, our partner clubs have shown to have upward of about 70 active Play More Golf members after that 3-year partnership that we mentioned when we were taking you through that simulator. Average age of a flexible member is 44. We spoke a little bit about the additional spend sometimes in food and beverage and retail. From the surveys that we've done with our 12,000 flexible members, we know that on average, the spend is around £12.27 per person per round on food and beverage and golf retail. We know they play between 8 and 10 rounds of golf a year, and we know that 78% of golf rounds are played at the club's off-peak time. And generally, the value per round tends to be 3 to 4 times higher than perhaps that of the traditional member. And the reason for that is obviously they're playing the golfer is typically playing 8 to 10 rounds of golf a year. So they're the typical results that you perhaps might expect from it. Hopefully there were a few hints and tips in there and things to think about and things to consider. I've had a couple of questions sort of posed to me in advance that I'll cover off. But just before I do that, I'll just see from our host, Kerry, if any other sort of questions have been posed by anybody on the webinar at all.
At the moment, no questions have popped up yet. Obviously, you're doing such a good job explaining it, Brad.
So some of those recurring questions that I do get when I speak to prospects is, Brad, I'm really worried that my 7-day members or my current members are not going to like this, is the first part of it. And the second part of it, I'm really worried all of them are going to actually downgrade into it, or a lot of members may move into it. And I suppose ultimately the response I have to it, certainly in the second part, is to say, when we set up a flexible membership, one of the key things we talk to our partner clubs about and our new partners about is making sure there are distinct differences between what a flexible member gets and what a 7-day and 5-day member gets. And ultimately, those differences can be different discount within food and beverage, limited amount of competition access, a different booking window. So you'd expect your 5-day and 7-day members to have a longer booking window than a flexible member. So making those distinct differences and setting up the points matrix in such a way that drives off-peak traffic, and sitting with the 5 and 7-day members to sort of talk them through. We do a lot of communications with clubs and help clubs with their communications out to the members when they're launching this new scheme, to say, these are the distinct differences between what you get and what a flexible member gets. And I think if the member sort of understands that difference, actually what you find is the 7-day member and 5-day member will look at it and go, well, actually, I don't want to play in the afternoons because I play in the morning. If I play in the morning, it's going to cost me more per round. So it still makes your membership attractive. But of course, the other important point to make is, actually, if there is a 7-5-day member who's thinking of downgrading, if they're not getting value out of their 7-day membership, they're going to leave anyway. And ultimately, does this scheme in place help perhaps safeguard that a little bit? So that's kind of one of the sort of the key things. And yes, I think the other part of that is there may be some issues with members who think, well, I don't really like this scheme. And ultimately, it comes back to things that I've sort of spoken about before, about saying, having a clearly defined membership strategy that identifies an opportunity to put this scheme into place, and actually taking members with you on that journey to say, this is the category, this is why we're looking to introduce it, this is what we're hoping to achieve by it, can generally settle most members down. I'm not going to settle all members down. Hey, I've been a general manager, I understand some of the challenges faced in this. But ultimately, my view has always been, be really transparent, be really open, explain to members what we're trying to achieve. And ultimately, you're not going to flood the golf course with lots of members. Seeing 10, 15, 20 members coming in per year is not a flood. It's easily manageable, and it then can be monitored and adjusted. So that's certainly some of the key responses that I would sort of certainly talk to prospect clubs about who show concerns over things like that. But I get it. I get those concerns as well. I asked exactly the same questions of Play More Golf when I signed up to them when I was a general manager back in 2015. So I'd certainly understand it. So there have been a couple of questions come in. I think, did I see you, Kerry?
Sorry, classic on mute. There are a couple that have come through. Yeah. So the first one is, how does your platform handle affiliation fees and joining fees?
Yeah, so ultimately really excited, because actually pre 4 weeks ago, I'd have said, well, you had to collect it. Now we've developed some software at checkout that says we take affiliation fees for you at checkout ultimately. And if you're a club that has a joining fee for your 7 and 5 day members, and you want to have a joining fee for your flexible members as well, then you have that ability to add that in at checkout. So when a new member is coming in online, they would select their membership, individual membership, whatever that's priced at. You have a choice of what price you want to set it at. And in addition to that, there's 2 additional fees in there. And this would be relevant to your club. There'd be the joining fees, which they would tick to pay, and then the affiliation fees that they would tick to pay. They would check out of their basket and they would pay that up front. Or also they have the option to pay on a monthly direct debit. So affiliation fees get paid. We don't take any cost off of that affiliation fee because I know that you have to pass that cost on to the county. So ultimately, you would get remitted those funds on the 17th day of every single month, listed on invoice to say, here's your, let's say for argument's sake, 5 new joiners, 10 new renewals, net of our costs, and here's the 10, 15 affiliation fees coming through, which enables you to clearly then account for it. And you know at some point you've got to sort of pass those fees on to your relevant county office. So yeah, a real new addition into the checkout stage at Play More Golf. We had a lot of feedback from partners that said, Brad, I really need some help with this. It's so difficult having to chase people up for affiliation fees. We're trialing it at the moment across 20 venues, because of course I don't want to release it to 200 and have some teething problems. So we've got 20 venues that are trying it, actually 15 venues that are trialing it currently. It only went live on Monday. We're going to trial it for a few weeks, make sure it's working absolutely fine, and then we'll roll it out to the rest of our estate. So that's a really exciting new addition to the platform.
Fantastic. And the other question we have just 2 more. One is, could we as a club advertise an open day to Play More Golf members at other clubs nearby to help drive flexi revenue into the club?
Yeah, 100%. It's something that we like to work with clubs on a lot. And really your club support manager, we have 3 club support managers across the UK. So you have a dedicated club support manager. They will visit you as regularly as you want. I ask them to visit clubs at least 3 times over the course of the year, but they're available 24/7. Perhaps not at midnight, but they're available 24/7 to be able to say, do you know what, we'd love to do this. And we do this a lot. We help clubs to run open days. We help clubs to run flexible golf membership competitions in the afternoon, and we do exactly that. We literally then can contact all the local flexible members close to you, and invite them in to come and play. And typically golf clubs will look to put the event on. Obviously we drive the flexi points in, and you may choose to put some lunch on or a coffee and bacon roll or whatever it might be. We work with lots of different brand partners as well. So when it comes to prizes and things like that, we can certainly help clubs with prizes for things, whatever that might be for that day. So absolutely we support and encourage that in the area. We also do work with another partner. You may have heard of them, Golf Genius, in terms of actually event-based stuff. So that works really well with event-based activities as well.
Brilliant. And the last question we've got is, if we join the Play More Golf Network, can we put a limit on the total number of active flexible members we have?
Yeah, yes is the answer to that. We work with lots of clubs. We have clubs that have caps on it. I was talking to a club actually quite local to me the other day who said, I've kind of reached the numbers that I'm looking for. I just need to make sure I'm leaving enough tee sheet space available for my green fee players in the afternoon. And absolutely, we work with clubs. So in some cases, we have clubs on caps for this. And we say it's kind of a 1 in, 1 out principle. So absolutely, a club can decide. Ultimately, the club decides how many members they want. We help you to start with to look at your utilization and say, well, look, you've got this much spare capacity in your tee sheet. Very relevant in the summer, slightly more challenging in the winter with tee sheets. And I know too well how challenging that can be. But absolutely, we can agree the numbers. And when we're getting close to those numbers, we would take stock, we'd have a look, we'd review your tee sheet utilization again and go, well, I had in my mind that I wanted 40, 50 flexible members. Actually, my tee sheet says I could probably take a little bit more than that. So we'll open up another 5 and we'll just see how it goes. Or I've reached that 50. Actually, that's delivered the numbers that I'm looking for it to deliver. And we sort of do a 1 in, 1 out principle. So absolutely, that option is available.
Perfect. That is actually the end of all the questions I've got so far.
Excellent. Well, just going to hover with some of my details on there. Some really good questions. I hope everybody sort of enjoyed it. Obviously, I appreciate it's a really busy time of year in the golf business at the minute. So I know there's other golf operators out there that are flat out at the minute dealing with members and societies and green fee players. So it is recorded. We actually have a YouTube channel. So we place all of our webinars up onto our YouTube channel. So there's various other recordings on there from other things that you can sort of go in and listen about in terms of a bit more detail, maybe about our marketing services or how does it really help with the retention of members. So we've got a good YouTube library available for doing it. If anybody would like to reach out, my details are up there. So my email is brad@playmore.golf. And you can see my mobile number up there is 07384 980 976. And for me, it's about being able to have some conversations with clubs, seeing if we can support, seeing if we can help guide. If you choose not to work with Play More Golf after we've had a conversation, there's no issues. But I genuinely do believe there's an opportunity to really help drive this through with a different type of membership. And as I said, we've got a wealth of experience in this area, so more than happy to have an informal conversation with anybody that would like to reach out. I'm also on LinkedIn, so if you'd like to connect me on LinkedIn, please feel free to do so. Thank you very much.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you everyone for coming, and I hope to see you next month.